The real reason you haven't been able to get customers through LinkedIn is what this video is about, and it's something that I call the low quality lead loop. So it's fairly instructive, but in case you haven't read through it already, I'll go through it and I'll explain. Because this is what I was in, and this is what when I talk to small business owners, freelancers, one person business owners who want to try and break out from, one, taking on low quality clients that they feel like they can do better. They know that their work is better than they're charging for, or maybe they don't. Maybe that they actually don't know that. Maybe the issue is that they have a feeling of lack, and that they don't have enough coming in, so that when they charge, or when they do get a lead, they just drop the price. Get bargained down by the lead, and then end up not charging enough, and then it becomes a bad cycle. So the low quality lead loop goes as follows. So you struggle to regularly find leads. So you don't have like a way of generating 10 leads a day. So you just don't have that in place. You have no real system. You might do some random outreach, but it's a real massive time suck. You do get referrals, and they're great, but they can't be relied upon, because sometimes you get 4 in one day and then you can't take 2 of them on. And then sometimes you get none for 2 months, and then that's a big problem. So to pay the bills, you have to lower the standards, and you have to take on bad clients, I'm going to say, and bad clients pay less and are more demanding. So that's two bad reasons. So you get paid less, so that means you can't afford to invest in good staff to do the work for you. So that means you have to do it all yourself. And if you do it all yourself, that becomes more stressful. And the fact that the clients are very demanding is even more stressful. And the more stress, extra stress, overstress, means you do bad work, not always the best work, which means you don't get results for the clients, which means that it's not a case study and you don't get a referral, and you're not getting referrals or testimonials, and you're not getting referrals and testimonials. Those clients churn, and then because you don't have anything coming in, you have to go out and look again, and that's the vicious cycle. You end up going back and then struggling to find leads. So to pay the bills, you lower your standards, and then the cycle starts again. So this used to be what I did, and it was really a mindset shift that kind of changed everything for that. I was so desperate to, I suppose, prove myself as an entrepreneur, even though I don't like calling myself that. I was so desperate to prove myself that I just wanted to grow my revenue. When I was making about 3 to, say 7K, and it was fluctuating a lot between that, I really wanted to prove myself to not anyone else really, but myself. I wanted to say, okay, I'm good enough to do this. So as a result, I need to get as many clients as possible and make as much money as possible. And so that caused me to seem desperate, if I'm being honest. I was desperate because I was just reaching out, and I was just making offers to everyone, send them a cold email, send them a message on LinkedIn or Twitter. We were running paid ads in a business I was in before, and we were, the guy who was on the phone, he was just hopping on 50 calls a day and just saying, yeah, we can do it for X, sending them an email with a invoice, and just hammering out invoices. And that seems like, get as many proposals out there as possible. But when you're in small business, you have to be more tactical with the resources that you have. And so the mindset shift changed for me when we got a couple of referrals, and the process for them was a lot different. So when they would initially contact us, they were the ones asking the questions. We didn't have to try, and they were telling us their story and not giving away all their information, but telling us about their problems. And the reason that they did that is because they trusted us more, because they were referred by a friend. So when we started to get a few of these in, I started to see the difference between, a lead that comes inbound versus a lead that we have to go and find. One, they cost a lot less because they're coming inbound, and two, the conversation is completely different. And I personally was a lot more comfortable in being able to talk to those people and then make them an offer rather than being desperate. I didn't feel like I needed it as much. So this was obviously an evolution over a period of about a year, but I started to see the difference between not just blasting out invoices and sending out as much, prices as possible. It was more about keeping it closed and being laser focused then on who we want to work with, and even if that cost us turning away some clients. So we got laser focused then, because when we started to get more of these leads, we could be more laser focused on who we can help. And because we could do that, we could then frame our whole sales argument around those types of people. So as a result, we kind of not closed the doors, but just reduced the amount of proposals we were making and had more focus. And because we had more focus, we were just wasting less time on people who realistically were never going to buy anyway. We were personally comfortable in ourselves, and this comes true to happen again when I started my own business, and again, desperate to begin at the start. But then I started to get some results on the board and started to be a bit more comfortable in my own skin, really. So I wasn't just taking on anyone who would pay us money. We only worked with ideal clients, because I knew that when I get them results, they will give me testimonials, which will result in more clients, because I can put that in my content, talk about it in conversations I'm having. So by doing that, then we were a bit more picky, and it probably didn't. It cost us a bit of revenue, probably a temporary dip, but not a huge amount. And it was hard to turn away those clients at the start, but saying no to 5 people meant you're more likely to get a yes from the 6th, because your messaging can be very specific, and you can get weirdly specific, so much so that you feel like the prospect feels like you know everything about them once you get into the sales call, because you can tell them the problems that they've had because you've solved them for others before, and you know that those problems are big. And then it comes down to, quality over quantity. So we're reducing the amount of people. We're saying, okay, no, we don't work with you. We just want to work with people who we know we can get results for. That'll mean saying no to many, but when the people who know we can get results for coming in the door, we overwhelm them with value, basically, and show them, make it a complete no-brainer. Even if we're charging a high price, make it a complete no-brainer that if they have this problem, if you can confirm that you have this problem and you're in this situation, then you have to work with me, because I will fix it, and I've done it many times in the past. And that for me, that involved as well, if you go full circle, rather than just sending out 100 proposals, it's like, okay, in my Done For You service, I can only work with 4 clients realistically that I know that I can deliver a good service for, based on the size of my team and their needs. So I'm more comfortable in my skin turning people away, because I know that when someone comes in, I can then close them for basically a higher amount, knowing that I can deliver much more of a return on investment with those people when they do come through. And that really kind of, I suppose that's me growing out of some insecurities I had when I was getting started, as much as anything. This, in terms of numbers, I collected $200,000 from LinkedIn last year doing this, and that's 4x, or about 3.5x increase from the year before. The year before, I was just doing the things I shouldn't do, blasting out proposals, blah blah blah, offering, just doing whatever, being active, being busy, making that, and that would make me feel like I was doing all I needed to do. But really, I needed to slow down and focus and be more considered in my actions, and that ended up with a lot better results. But again, this took some personal work for me, because I know when someone's getting started, they just want to get out there and get it done. But sometimes going slow is actually the fastest route. So I hope this was helpful. Maybe some of these points that I've said resonated with you. If you want some more advice on how I can kind of help you guide you through the things that I just described, click the link below to learn a bit more about LinkedIn AI Mastery. There's all the tactics, there's all that kind of stuff as well. But I think the personal side of things is very important also, where I know behind every business there's an owner and there's a person, and I've been through the situation of starting out, wanting to prove myself, realizing that I needed to kind of put my ego behind and just do things the right way. So if you need some help getting through that, click the link below, join us, and I'll get you through it. Thanks.